Welcome back, everybody, for another deep dive. This time, we're going to be looking at the Kennedy half dollar.
Okay.
A coin I'm sure that just about everyone has seen and maybe even has a few laying around.
Yeah.
But we're going to be taking a deep dive into this coin using three sources:
I.
the U.S. Mint's website,
Mm.
a Wikipedia article on the Kennedy half dollar, and also an article from the Spruce Crafts about the value
How
of
close?
these coins. So, we all know that this coin has JFK's face on it.
Yeah.
But what else is there to this coin? What's the story here?
Yeah. It's pretty interesting.
Yeah.
How much history is packed into this little coin?
Right. And to start out, how did this coin even come to be?
Well, it was first issued in 1964,
Okay.
just a year after President Kennedy's assassination.
Wow.
And what's really interesting is how quickly Congress acted on it.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they replaced the Franklin half dollar almost overnight,
Hmm.
which really shows how popular JFK was.
Yeah, that's really interesting. I mean, it was such a quick turnaround. I mean,
Yeah,
just goes to show how much he was loved by the country.
absolutely.
Yeah. And the sources mention that the portrait on the coin was designed by Gilroy Roberts.
Mm.
Was there any specific reason that they chose him?
Well, Roberts had already done a portrait of Kennedy for his presidential medal.
Oh, okay.
So it seems like they wanted that continuity there.
I see.
That connection to his legacy.
Yeah, I see.
And, of course, we can't forget Frank Gasparo,
Right.
who designed the presidential seal that's on the reverse of the coin.
Right.
So it's kind of a collaborative tribute.
Yeah, it's really cool that it wasn't just, one person doing the whole thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, so speaking of history, I'm kind of curious about the half dollar denomination in general.
Hmm.
Did it just show up with JFK, or is there a longer story there?
Oh, no, the half dollar goes back way before JFK,
Oh, wow.
all the way back to 1794.
Wow.
The first ones were made of silver, and for quite some time, they didn't feature presidents at all.
Really?
Instead, they had Lady Liberty on them.
Oh, wow.
So no presidents on the half dollar for years.
That's so interesting. So how did we get from Lady Liberty to Benjamin Franklin to JFK?
Well, Franklin replaced the Walking Liberty design in 1948.
Oh, okay.
And that was really interesting because 1947 was the last year that Liberty appeared on any circulating U.S. coin.
Oh, wow.
So that was really the end of an era.
That's amazing.
And another interesting fact is that the same artist, Adolph A. Weinman, designed both the Walking Liberty half dollar,
Wow.
which was minted from 1916 to 1947,
Okay.
and also the Mercury dime.
That's a really cool fact.
Yeah, he really left his mark.
Wow. So the Spruce Crafts article mentions that the 1964 Kennedy half dollar was 90% silver.
Wow.
Was that standard for half dollars back then, or is that specific to the Kennedy half dollar?
It was standard then,
Okay.
but that high silver content didn't last.
Really?
No, but 1965, they had dropped it to 40%.
Oh, wow. What happened?
Probably because the price of silver was going up in the 1960s.
I see.
So it just got too expensive to make them with that much silver.
Right. So if the silver was worth more than the face value,
Yeah,
people must have just been melting them down
they got it.
or just holding on to it.
Exactly. And that's part of the reason that the half dollar started disappearing from circulation.
Oh, that's really interesting.
It's amazing how the economy affects even something as simple as what coins we use.
It really makes you wonder how many people back then maybe had a stash of those 90% silver coins tucked away,
Yeah,
knowing that they might be worth more someday.
definitely. So what happened after 1970?
Yeah, what happened to that silver content?
Did it go away completely? It did. In 1971, they switched to the copper nickel clad that you see in dimes and quarters today.
Oh, wow. So no more silver at all.
Nope.
So besides people holding on to them as an investment, what else made the half dollar less popular?
Well, people just weren't using them as much for everyday purchases. And casinos, which used to use a ton of half dollars for slot machines, started switching to those coinless systems.
Oh, yeah, you're right. I remember seeing those coin-operated slots as a kid.
Yeah, but you don't see those so much anymore.
Not really. And it's interesting, the Spruce Crafts article mentioned that for a while, half dollars were mostly made for collectors.
Right.
When did that happen?
That started in 2002
Okay.
and lasted until 2020.
Wow. So for like almost 20 years, they were mainly for collectors.
Yep, pretty much.
It's kind of strange to think about a common coin like that almost vanishing from use.
It is pretty wild.
But the article also said that the mint started making them for circulation again in 2021.
Yeah, they did.
Why was that?
Looks like they were running low on reserves.
Oh, so they just needed more half dollars out there.
Exactly.
It makes you wonder if the Kennedy half dollar will make a comeback.
It might.
I'd like to see that. I've always liked them. Okay, so we've talked about the history, the composition. What about their value? Are we all sitting on a pile of money here, or are most of them just worth 50
Well,
cents?
most of them are just face value,
Okay.
but certain dates and conditions can make them pretty valuable to collectors.
Oh, really? So what should we be looking out for?
Well, the 1964 silver coins, those are definitely worth more.
Of course.
And the 1970D is an interesting one
Okay, why is that?
because it was only made for uncirculated mint sets.
What does that mean?
It means it was never intended for general circulation.
Oh,
So if you found one of those in your pocket change, that would be a real find.
right, because it would have had to come from a collector set.
Exactly.
What about those bicentennial coins from 75 and 76?
Yeah, the ones with the double date.
Yeah, you'd think those would be rare.
You would, but they made billions of them.
So they're not actually that rare.
Not really. And
Mhm.
they don't go for much more than face value,
Okay, good to know. So no instant riches there. What about those special collector's editions?
like proof sets.
Yeah, I've heard of those, but I don't really know what makes them different.
So a proof coin is a special collector's version
Okay.
that's been struck multiple times
Hmm.
to give it a mirror-like finish.
Wow, so it's all about how it looks.
Pretty much. And proof sets include proof versions of all the coins minted that year.
Okay, and the silver proof sets, those are made with silver.
That's right.
So those are definitely more for collectors.
Yeah, you're not going to see those in your change.
Right. The article also mentioned 50th anniversary sets from 2014.
Mm-hmm.
Are those special?
They're popular because they have different finishes.
Oh, like what?
Well, some have a special uncirculated finish.
Okay.
That's different from the regular uncirculated coins.
I see. So if someone wanted to find some of these more valuable Kennedy half dollars, where should they look?
Well, you might get lucky going through your change,
Yeah.
but you'll have better luck checking with banks or coin dealers.
Oh, okay.
You could still find circulated Kennedy half dollars,
All right.
especially if you ask at a bank.
Okay.
But those pre-2002 ones are definitely harder to find,
Yeah, that makes sense. And for the collector versions, you can buy them from the mint.
right? Or from coin dealers.
That makes sense. I never thought to ask my bank for specific coins.
It's worth a shot.
So after all this, the history, the changes in circulation, what's the future of the Kennedy half dollar?
Yeah, what's next for it?
Is it going to be a collector's item, or will it come back as a coin we use every day?
Well, it's hard to say for sure.
Yeah.
We're moving towards a cashless society.
True, with all the digital payments and stuff.
Exactly. But there's still something about coins, you know?
Yeah, I know what you mean.
They're tangible. They have that connection to history.
They do. It's interesting to think about. It really makes you wonder, we've seen other coins basically disappear, like the dollar coin.
Right, yeah.
Do you think the Kennedy half dollar will go the same way, or does it have a chance?
It's tough to say, but I mean, the mints did start making them for circulation again in 2021.
That's true.
So that suggests they think it has a future right.
Yeah.
Maybe the key is to make it, more appealing or useful for everyday transactions.
Yeah, like what if they started using them in vending machines again?
Oh, sure.
Or like those self-checkout kiosks.
Yeah, that would be interesting.
I wonder if there are other countries that still use coins like the half dollar,
Mhm.
that are worth about the same.
Yeah.
I feel like that could tell us something about what might happen here.
That's a really good point. Actually,
Mhm.
comparing it to other countries
Yeah,
could give us some perspective.
right. Like what about the euro?
Oh, yeah.
They have the 50-cent coin, right?
Mm-hmm.
And people seem to use that pretty regularly.
Yeah, they do.
So maybe it's not about the value of the coin itself,
Right.
but more about how we use it. Like if our systems can handle it.
Yeah, and if people are willing to use it.
Exactly. So maybe the question isn't, will the Kennedy half dollar disappear,
Mm-hmm.
but how can we bring it back into our modern world,
Yeah. How can we make it work?
That's a really interesting thought.
This whole deep dive has shown us that there's more to this coin than meets the eye.
Definitely.
It's not just a piece of metal. It reflects our history,
Yeah.
our economy, even our relationship with money.
Well said. So for our listeners, what would you say is the biggest takeaway from all this?
I think it's that even something as simple as a coin can have a really fascinating story.
Yeah.
It reminds us to, look deeper, think about the history behind the things we see every day.
Absolutely. So next time you get a Kennedy half dollar in your change, don't just toss it aside.
Right.
Take a look at it, check the date.
Yeah.
You might have a little treasure there.
You never know. It could be worth more than you think.
That's a great point to end on. Thanks for joining us on this deep dive into the world of the Kennedy half dollar.
It was fun.
Until next time, keep exploring and keep checking your change.